Okay, everyone, this is a request that I got from one of my viewers. He asked me if I would do a Ringo Starr Beatles songs ranking. He said do the top 10, but actually as I was going through the songs in my mind, I didn't look them up and I'm trying to do it from memory. I hope I got them all. I found 11 official songs that Ringo recorded with the Beatles while they were together, but also a 12th song that I'm going to include that was kind of not released in the Beatles' day in the 60s, but it came out on anthology. And before I start, I'm going to say what I usually say with these kinds of rankings. In this particular case, there are no songs here that I dislike. I happen to like all of them in this case. The question is, which ones do I like a little more? Which ones do I like a little less? So that's where I'm going with this. I started out with number 12, and it's the song that I was kind of referring to there that wasn't officially released in the 60s. And that's If You've Got Troubles, which sometimes is called If You've Got Trouble. It's a Ringo vocal. It's a song that was recorded in 1965 by the Beatles and never really used. And I can understand why it wasn't used at the time. It's kind of clunky. It's not finished off. The words are just kind of desperate, I think. They're not very good lyrics. And they never really get the level of enthusiasm going that they should have, which I think is why in that song Ringo pleads with them in the middle. Rock on, anybody, he says, And I really love that bit, actually. And I don't dislike the song, actually. I don't hate it, but I put it at dead last at number 12 because it's not really finished, and it's probably the weakest track. So then we go to number 11, and number 11 is a song that usually gets pummeled by a lot of Beatles fans as one of the least Beatles songs, and that's the song What Goes On. What Goes On, it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the least of the Beatles songs in their catalog, but it doesn't mean I don't enjoy it. I do. It's originally on Rubber Soul, and I just think that if you're listing these all in order and something's got to be on the bottom, near the bottom, least favorite, that's one of them. Now we go already into the top 10. If I was going to rank just 10, as the viewer asked me to do, these would be the top 10 Ringo songs in reverse. Number 10, I went with Act Naturally, and that was a song Buck Owens did, and Ringo covered it. A little different for the Beatles, really more of a country twangy song. I enjoy the song. It's a lot of fun, but I think it's one of those songs I'm kind of overdosed on, Ringo performing it too much. And that's why sometimes I have to note when I make these videos, I'm really doing the songs basically how I like them, how I feel about them. With some exceptions, which I'll get into as I go along, where I do consider historical status and a little objective from my own feelings, giving them higher rankings than maybe I feel and so forth. I'll explain each one individually. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. Act Naturally from the Help album. It doesn't really fit on the Help album. Sorry, folks. Yesterday and Today in Capital is where it belongs for in the U.S. for me. Anyway, I know that's another subject entirely. And I am going to be making a video. I keep promising or threatening to some people to make a video defending the Capitol U.S. albums. And I will. Hopefully well before the year is out. Now we go to number 9. Number 9 is a Carl Perkins cover, Honey Don't. Ringo sings it well. It's a lot of fun, and I just personally put it at number 9. It's from Beatles for Sale, and that's where it comes up in the ranking. I enjoy it. Now we go to number 8. Recently, I had a rediscovery, in a way, of the White Album. I was playing the whole album in my car, blasting it as loud as it could go, and I was using the CD, not the new one from 2009, but the remaster. I don't know if it's from 1988, so around there. I thought that was the best sound I've ever heard on the White Album. What can I tell you? But this particular song is what I'm ranking number 8. It's the song Good Night, which closes the album. I really think that song is good, very good. And it fits so perfectly for the end of the album, saying goodnight, after we just heard that really crazy and wild, bombastic Revolution number 9. What a way to calm things down. Ringo's voice is very soothing on there, and he sings it very well. I really wanted to put Goodnight higher on the list, just based on this recent rediscovery of the song. But I think I could in good faith do that, because there's other ones I just feel I like a little better. Number 7, I went with the song Matchbox, which is really a good rendition by Ringo. I like the version that's kind of more, I don't know, echoey, and you hear his voice kind of like double-tracked very obviously in some spots. Don't know why I prefer that one, but I do. I like the fact also, a little plug for the Capitol albums again, that in the U.S. they put it on a proper album. They put it on Slow Down, on this with Slow Down, also from an EP, on the Something New album. Slow Down, Long Tall Sally, Matchbox, and I Call Your Name were just, you know, kind of like stranded over on a multi-track EP in the UK. And I know that was the style then, but these days, having to play around with it with a stray EP is not really the best way to hear the songs. Anyway, the person who wanted me to do this video was hoping that Matchbox would get a higher position. Sorry, I like it, but there's a few that I like even better. So now we got number 6. It's one of the early rockers with Ringo. It's from With the Beatles, and it's I Want to Be Your Man. A very simple song, not many lyrics, but boy, does Ringo really sing it really intensely and with a really good attitude. I really love the energy in his performance, and I Want to Be Your Man has always been a favorite of mine. I really wanted to put it in the top 5, but it was kind of competing with another early rocker that you probably know what it is, that I kind of had to decide between the two, weigh it, which one's going to go in there, which one's not. So that's down to the top 5 now, and these are pretty important. Now, there's so many songs could have been in here. It was really hard to do this. It always is when you like every song. Number 5, I went with Octopus's Garden. Ringo's composition that was on Abbey Road. I just think it's really a lot of fun. It's a fairy tale fantasy type of tune, good for kids, but it really is jolly good fun for Ringo, good natured kind of fluff from him, and it's a good time. It's really what it comes down to. Octopus's Garden, number 5. Number 4, well, here's the song I was talking about early on. I was kind of alluding to this. It's the song Boys, off the very first debut album, Please Please Me, the early rocker. The Shirelles did it, and Ringo really sings his lungs out with the song. They didn't change the lyrics from boys to girls, but still in all, what a great performance, and also great musicianship on there. I always love Paul McCartney's bass on there. So somebody said to me last time, "What's so great about the bass?" To my ears, it's wonderful, and the screaming in the background, really energetic. And I decided to favor that one slightly over I Want to Be Your Man for this list. So that's number 4. Number 3, Ringo's first composition from the White Album. That's Don't Pass Me By. And again, I think it's just zany, outrageously crazy lyrics, and all the different kinds of instruments that are played in there and everything. It's just such a good time. Again, a lot of these, I say that because that's Ringo. He's got a good time, you know, laid back kind of nature. So that's why I put Don't Pass Me By at number 3. Now, you folks know what 2 are left, I'm sure, if you're thinking about them. And here's a good example of a song that I kind of have to put up a little higher, even though personally right now I don't, and I'll explain. Number 2, I put Yellow Submarine. I think a lot of people are going to say, oh, come on, Yellow Submarine, it's a child song, it's so silly, it's a kiddie song, and, you know, we're so tired of it. Ringo has done it to death. I agree with that. That can be said, though, about a lot of songs here that Ringo does with his all-star band live over so many years, since 1989. But Yellow Submarine, there's no denying that. I think what got me to put it at number 2 is that had I not been overdosed on it, had I not been really Yellow Submarined out, I think for sure, if I just took it on its own, was just hearing it for the first couple of times, I would think it was really a tour de force for Ringo. It's, again, suited for him perfectly, made for him. It's one of his signature themes. Nobody could sing it like Ringo. And Yellow Submarine is a classic that deserves to be number 2, even though right now I might not want to put it there. So there's a case where I do occasionally weigh both together. The 2 factors, what I like very much and what I think maybe not as much these days, but really deserves a higher ranking. Don't let that influence you. And of course, number 1, what's left? Sgt. Pepper song, With a Little Help from My Friends. I think it's Ringo's probably greatest Beatles song in the sense really that, besides it being, again, just a lot of fun and with the backup vocals from the others and everything, I really love that it's Ringo's creed. It's Ringo's motto. It fits Ringo to a T. Ringo always has gotten by with the assistance of other people and with the support of his friends. And Ringo will tell you that that's kind of, in a way, sums up his mantra in life. With a little help from my friends. It's Ringo to a T. It was made for him. It's perfect for him. And I just love that song. So, that's number one. With a little help from my friends. Hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.